Hi students, welcome to JSR Maths Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the first chapter of class 7, that is of integers. So before going to discuss about integers, let us discuss the set of numbers which we have learnt in the previous class. Then afterwards we will come back to the integers. The result first set is set of natural numbers. Set of natural numbers. Set of natural numbers is are also called as counting numbers. Natural numbers are also called as counting numbers. Here, why are we calling this as counting numbers? Means if I ask you to count a number of students in our class, then we start counting. We start counting by using 1, 2, 3, and so on. But you won't use 0, 1, 2 to count. That means what numbers which we are using to count, that numbers are set as what? Natural numbers. That's why we say natural numbers as a counting numbers. And set of natural numbers is denoted by capital N. Set of natural numbers is denoted by capital N, and we written it as N is equal to in the set of 1, 2, 3, and so on. And if you observe this, what is the least natural number that we have? Means 1 is the least natural number. 1 is the least natural number. And how many natural numbers are there? That means there are infinitely many natural numbers. There are infinitely many natural numbers. Why are we having infinitely many natural numbers? Means if you observe this set, this dots represents continuity. Means these natural numbers will continue up to endless. That means there is no end in the set of natural numbers. That's why it is said to be what? Infinitely. It is having infinitely many natural numbers. And let us discuss about the next set of numbers, that is of whole numbers. Whole numbers means what? All the natural numbers together with 0. All the natural numbers together with 0 forms a collection of whole numbers. Here if you observe this part represents a natural number, and if you add 0 to this natural number, you will get a set of whole numbers. And set of whole numbers is denoted by W. Set of whole numbers is denoted by W. And the least whole number, what is the least whole number that we have? Means 0 will be treated as a least whole number. 0 is treated as a least whole number. And in the same manner, there are infinitely many whole numbers. There are infinitely many whole numbers. And every natural number is a whole number. Why every natural number is a whole number? Means we know that set of natural number n is equal to 1, 2, 3, and so on. That means every natural number, see, 1 is a natural number which is present in a whole number also, and 2 is a natural number which is present in a set of whole numbers also, and 3 is a natural number which is present in the set of whole numbers. That's why we say that all the natural numbers are whole numbers. And you may get one more doubt. Can we say that every whole number? Can we say that every whole number? You may get one more doubt. That is, can we say that every whole number is a natural number? Means it is not true. Every whole number is need not to be as a natural number. Why so? Means there is a whole number which is called as a 0. There is a whole number which is called as a 0, which is not a natural number. That's why we say that all whole numbers are not a natural number, because 0 is a whole number which is not of a natural number, Then except 0, rest all the numbers. Except 0, rest all the whole numbers are the natural numbers. Except 0, rest all the whole numbers are set with one natural number. Now, let us get into our topic, that is of integers. Integers means what? Integers means all the natural numbers, 0 and negatives of the natural numbers, and negatives of natural numbers forms a collection of integers. How this set of integers forms means natural numbers, means 1, 2, 3 and so on, 0 and negatives of this natural number, that is -1, -2, -3 and so on. These forms a set of integers and it is represented by Z or I. It is represented by Z or I, and you may get a doubt. Set of natural numbers start with N and it is denoted by N, and set of whole numbers start with W, so it is denoted by W. And if you take a set of integers started with I, then why are we using Z? Why are we using Z to represent a set of integers? Means Z word. Why are we using Z? Means there is a German word which is called Zahlen. There is a German word that is called the Zahlen. What is the meaning of Zahlen? Means to count. From this word they have taken Z. From this word they have taken Z. That's why we represent a set of integers by I or Z. Most probably will take Z as a set of integers. Okay, and set of integers we have written as natural numbers, 0 and negatives of natural numbers forms a set of integers. Okay, and here you need to understand a few important concepts which are regarding to the set of integers, that are 0 is neither positive nor negative. 0 is neither negative nor positive. That means what? We cannot assign any sign for this 0. 0 will be treated as a neutral. There is no charge for it. That means there is no positive. We cannot consider it as a positive number. We cannot consider it as a negative number. And there are infinitely many integers. If you observe the dots, by this dots you should understand that there are infinitely many numbers in this set, and every natural number is an integer. As every natural number is an integer. Why? Because in the set of integers we define that all the natural numbers are a part of integers, and 0 together with the natural number forms a whole number. That's why 0 together with the natural number, this forms a whole number. Then we can say every whole number is an integer. Every whole number is an integer. And let us see the next concepts which are regarding integers. Integers means what? Integers consist of negatives of all the natural numbers. Integers consist of negatives of all the natural numbers. That means natural numbers means what? 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And negatives of this means -1, -2, -3, -4 and so on. And integers consist of 0 even, and natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So the set of integers Z is equal to Z or I is equal to 0. There will be 0 natural numbers and negatives of natural numbers. Okay, in the integers there will be natural numbers, 0 and negatives of natural numbers. And in these, what numbers are treated as a positive numbers? That means all the natural numbers treated as a positive numbers. All the natural numbers are treated as a positive number. That's why we have written as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and etc. are positive integers. These are treated as a positive integers. And these negatives of natural numbers are treated as a negative integers. They will be treated as a negative integers. And 0 is neither positive nor negative, which we have discussed just now. And there is one more concept, that is of non-negative integer. Non-negative integers means what? Not a negative. Not a negative means either positive or no sign. That means 0 together with the natural numbers forms a non-negative integers, which is of set of integers, which is of set of whole numbers. Sorry, okay, set of whole numbers is set with what? Non-negative integers. Set of whole numbers are set with non-negative integers. Okay, now one more important concept that we are going to discuss about integers, that is of absolute value of integers. Absolute values of integers. This absolute value of integers, which is not there in our state board, but we need to learn about it so that it helps us to do the operations. Operations in the sense, in the maths, there are 4 fundamental operations that we have, that are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. These are set with what? 4 fundamental operations. Okay, so those the children, those who learn about absolute values of integers, they can do this, or else they can perform these 4 fundamental operations on the integers very easily. So that's why I'm giving you this concept of absolute value of integer. Okay, what is absolute value of integer? The absolute value of integer is its numerical value regardless of its sign. Regardless of its sign, that means without considering a sign, we have to write only numerical value of that integer. So it gives you absolute value. If you take a minus 2020 is that. So what is absolute value of it? Means without considering a sign, without considering the positive sign or negative sign, we have to write another 2020. That's it. And what is absolute value of 2020? 2020 itself. Okay. So if you observe this, the absolute value of minus 8 is 8. Absolute value of minus 8 is 8. And what is absolute value of 4 is 4 itself. Okay. And to represent absolute value of an integer, we write that integer in between the 2 vertical lines or bars. If you take an absolute value of minus 68, that will be represented as an within these vertical bars we will write this. Then how to read this? Means we have to read it as mod of 68, or else simply we say that mod 68 in the sense absolute value of 68. Here how to read this? Mod minus 68, that means absolute value of minus 68 is 68. In the same manner, absolute value of positive 47 is mod 47, which is equal to 47, and so on. If you consider A represent an integer, then absolute value of A is represented by mod A, and which is always non-negative. Non-negative in the sense, that means always positive. That means absolute value of every integer is always positive. If you take an integer, negative integer, minus 20, if you take, then what is absolute value of minus 20? That is of mod 20. What is the value of this mod 20? Is positive 20. No need to represent the positive sign. Okay, and what would be the absolute value of 250? Means mod 250 is 250. And if you take any other number, if you take any negative number, and if you find out absolute value of it, will be positive. Absolute value of it will be positive. Okay, that's why we have written that absolute value of any negative number is always positive number. It's a positive, that is non-negative. If someone else says that mod A is equal to minus A, then it would be wrong. Or it may becomes A is less than 0. That means you need to know that when that A becomes less than 0, that means you should know that comparison of integers. So let us discuss about a comparison of an integer. Comparing of the integer. Comparison means what? Let us take a simple example. Our day-to-day life example. Let us take in a home there are two boys. Okay, boy A and boy B, and their parents wants to give the packet money to them. Okay, so boy A asked his father to get the packet money. So his father given to him as a 500 rupees as a packet money. Okay, and boy B have given with the 200 rupees. Then what will happen in the next step? Okay, can you imagine that? What is the next scene in that? Means they will start comparing. Why we will ask A, how much pocket money that you got? 500. How much pocket money that you got? 200. Then boy A will say that. First boy will say that I got more money than you. I got more pocket money than you. Then boy will read that. He will feel that I got less money. That means this is what comparison means. What is greater? What is smaller? Deciding which is greater one, which is smaller one is said about comparison. Okay. Here also, while comparing of integer, there are four fundamental concepts that you need to understand. That is of first concept is every positive integer is greater than the negative integer and 0. If they ask which one is greater one among the between them 20 and minus 2020 is given, which is greater one, means while comparing this you should know that what is greater, what is smaller. To decide that you need to check that sign, which is first number is a positive sign, second number is having negative sign, so which is having positive sign, that is greater one. This is our first point. First point is that every positive integer is greater than the negative integer. First point says that every positive integer is greater than the every negative integers and 0. And second point is that every negative integer is smaller than the positive integers. See, this is just converse of first point. Okay, if every positive integer is greater than the negative integer, then every negative integer is less than positive integer. And here you need to understand that 0 is greater than the all the negative integers. If somebody else, if we are asked to decide or compare 0 and minus 20, which is greater one, means we will say that 0 is greater than. Okay, because 0 is greater than the all the negative integers. And third point is that 0 is greater than every negative integer, and 0 is smaller than the every positive integers, that we know. Okay, 0 is smaller than the every positive integer, but 0 is greater than the every negative integers. And let us see the fourth concept, that is of out of two negative integers. Out of two negative integers, which one with a smaller absolute value is greater than. That means if we are given with both numbers are negative numbers, just like minus 20 and minus 30 is given. Okay, you need to compare them. So in order to compare both the negative numbers, we need to take absolute values of them. So what will the absolute value of this? Minus 20 is 20. What is the absolute value of 30? Minus 30 is 30. Then which number is having less absolute value? That is minus 20. So this is greater one. This is greater one. Okay, do you understand? Okay, out of two negative integers, that means whenever if you want to compare two negative integers, then the smaller absolute value is greater, and greater absolute value is the smaller one. And if you observe this example, minus 15 and minus 23, then what is the absolute value of minus 15? That is of positive 15. And what is the absolute value of minus 23? That is of mod minus 23, which is equal to 23. And which is absolute? Which number is having less absolute value? Means 15 is less than 23. That means mod minus 15 is less than the mod 23. So we say that minus 15 is greater than the minus 23. Similarly, we can say that minus 65 is smaller than the minus 47, because mod 65, which is 65, is greater than the mod 47, which is 47. Okay, this is our brief introduction regarding to the integers. Okay, thank you students for the watching this video.